the Hartshorn case. The guy's been missing for a week. Finally got the witness statements. Hey, up and at 'em. We got witness statements. 2 suspects. Here's the information we've been able to compile from our eyewitness testimony to the kidnapping. We're looking for 2 perps. Suspect 1 has an ochre epipedon and an argillic horizon. And it wouldn't be particularly distinctive. It'd be easy to blend into a crowd with that minimal horizonation, but for one thing. It's got a very deep and very distinctive BT horizon, bright orangey red in color. And one thing that stood out particularly strongly in our witnesses' minds were these clay skins. They were different color than the BT horizons, very unique. So, that should be an interesting one. Bring me up to speed on suspect 2. That's the one you're taking lead on, right?
Yes, ma'am. Suspect 2's got an albic horizon, an argillic horizon, as well as minimal horizonation. Gonna be tough to pick them out of the crowd. Got a phone call. Sounds good. We've got a new witness.
Alrighty, let's go talk to him.
Alright, ma'am. What do you got for us today?
Well, about a week or so ago, I remember overhearing a conversation between 2 soil seers that sound an awful lot like the ones that are in the news, who are supposed to have kidnapped Dr. Hartshorn. The one that seems a lot like soil suspect 1 seemed to have a pretty stable home life. They described that they had a eutic moisture regime growing up. So its plant life was never wanting for enough moisture to grow because it wasn't dry in any part for more than 90 days out of a year, the majority of the time. And it had a mesic temperature regime, so its temperature only varied between 8 and 15 degrees Celsius. I guess maybe that little instability is all it takes to turn a soil with a cushy life like that to a life of crime. But soil suspect 2 seemed like a much nastier character. It mentioned that the soil where it grew up was considerably chillier, you might say. Cryic, he said, so only 0 to 8 degrees Celsius during the year, on average. But it still had a eutic moisture regime, so it doesn't seem like it would be too hard on its plant life. Still, that one scared me.
Sounds like suspect 2 is a real cold-hearted guy.
Would seem so, detective.
Yeah. Alright. I think based on our witness's testimony, we've managed to narrow down our suspect pools a bit. Suspect 1 and 2 both have argillic horizons and thick BT horizons. And suspect 1 even has clay skins on some of the peds. That indicates the presence of a lot of alluviated silicate clays in those lower layers.
Lots of clays, huh? Argillic horizons, BT's here, argillic again. Definitely some clayey suspects, I'd say.
Those clays are probably leached from these albic E horizons. And all of those together, along with the ochre epipedon in suspect 1, they've got to both be alpha sols.
They've gotta both be alpha sols.
Those usually form under temperate forest canopies, under a huge range of temperature and moistures though. So what kind of alpha sols?
Hard to say. Suspect 1's got a eutic moisture regime, so it's gotta be a eudolph. And with that minimal horizonation, definitely a haplodolph.
Haplodolph, huh? What about suspect 2?
Well, suspect 2's got a cryic temperature regime, so he's definitely gonna be a cryolph.
Makes sense.
And also, minimal horizonation, haplocryolph, no doubt.
Alright, that narrows it down quite a bit. Let's see if we can find perps matching these descriptions in the soil web database.
Of course, we'll use the soil web.
The soil web. We should be able to determine a specific soil series from that taxonomic name. Let's see if we can find a match. We've got a match! Suspect 1 is the Pecatonica series. I'll find its extent map. Got him! In northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin. Let's see if we can get a match to suspect 2. Maybe. Yes! We've got a match here too. It's the Tigeron series. Let's see. Yes. Spread throughout western Montana. Alrighty, we've got names. Let's bring them in. Alright, we know their names. We know where they're from. Team 1, you're heading to Northern Illinois to bring in Pecatonica. And Team 2, are heading out west to Montana. You've got your assignments. Let's move out.
Let's get these dirtbags.